Angry guy here, and women are furious that men won't protect them anymore. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Women are furious that men won't protect them anymore. Let's just go ahead and jump into the very first video.
Men don't protect women, okay? Men protect their own interests. And if one of their interests happens to be a woman, then yeah, they'll be protected. But generally speaking, men are not out there protecting women. They're out there attacking women, and we are then needing the protection in the first place. It seems almost like men are purposely trying to make themselves useful by being protectors, by being the type of men that we need protection from. And I don't like it.
She's going to sink, Captain.
But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
Anyone protecting their own interests would be considered a rational person, but the level of ego and lack of self-awareness women have to claim men don't protect them is at near subatomic layers. Ladies, before you go drink a gallon of the women don't need men for anything Kool-Aid, why don't you check yourself before you wreck yourself? The world doesn't revolve around your boss babe feels. In any developed country, law enforcement that you women call for protection is overwhelmingly carried out by men. The protection provided to you and your children by all infrastructure is maintained by men. Sister, that includes the roads, the bridges, the buildings, the stores, your home, the sewers, power, communication, even your financial institutions. All of that is protected and maintained overwhelmingly by men. On top of that, other services such as transportation, weather forecasting, deliveries, manufacturing, the military-industrial complex is male-dominated and maintained. And according to AMN Healthcare, link in the description, in the US, men account for 64% of the physician workforce. Just because a random man isn't willing to jump in and get physically injured in a split-second random altercation involving you doesn't negate the fact that you live in protection abundance because of men.
How dare you?
Moving on.
Oh, Jesus, take the freaking wheel on this. You do realize that you guys are the reason that most of us look over our shoulders and are aware of our surroundings in dark parking lots, right? You do realize happened because of men, right? You do realize that the right to bear arms also applies to women, right? I'd be willing to bet if you asked, I don't know, go find 10 random women and ask them the most horrific abuse in their life, if it was at the hands of a female or if it was at the hands of a male. We've been protecting ourselves for a long time, sir. We do not need you or your boys club to do it for us. Start protecting women. Boy, did you get drunk and get on the internet and start typing dumb shit? Maybe y'all could, I don't know, start protecting women. No, but y'all tend to act like y'all didn't see that your friend did to so-and-so at a party, and yeah, y'all suddenly get amnesia and y'all blind to that. Get the out of here with this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Okay, so does saying men are the reason she looks over her shoulder at night actually discredit men protecting her? I guess she didn't think that one through. Violations happen because of men, because women can never violate anyone, right? Also, men get violated at a higher rate than women, but let's ignore that fact. The right to bear arms is great, but very few women use that in the US. For example, according to the WSF, link in the description, of the concealed carry holders in the state of Florida, only 1/3 of them are women. Also, according to the Medical University of South Carolina, link in the description, sexual mistreatment by a woman partner has been reported by up to 50% of lesbians. Psychological mistreatment has been reported as occurring at least one time by 24% to 90% of lesbians, and about 17 to 45% of lesbians report having been the victim of at least one act of physical violence perpetrated by a lesbian partner.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Queen, do you understand those are higher rates than straight couples, and it's all 100% female. And women have not been protecting themselves for a long time. If you doubt that, look at the police force. It's mostly men, and that's just one angle. It seems like this queen took a step further and made a video of complete buffoonery.
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Moving on.
I'm going to go one step further and say that the majority of men do not actually protect women in this way. Like, they talk a lot of shit, right? But in the past, whenever I think about it in relationships, it is very rare that a man who would consider himself a protector or a man who would fit within that like traditional gender binary role, which they were all like cis men.
You know, guys, I talk about this constantly, that the only path forward is to reject and replace. You know, men have to reject the relationships in Western society and walk away from Western society. They cannot have these relationships with people who literally hate us. They do not like us. They do not want us around. They only see us as a means to end, a means to getting their bag, and they will destroy us at any given opportunity. Only the simps are rushing to get into relationships, and even a lot of the simps today are absolutely afraid to go anywhere near them. That's the reason why they're, you know, having relationships almost exclusively on Only Fools and Lonely Fans. Women have created this environment for themselves, and of course they will never take accountability for it. They don't like us. They don't want us around. They don't want us on planet Earth. They would like us gone. And like I said, even if every man disappeared off the face of the earth, they would curse us for generations, for as long as they survive. And if society collapsed without us, which it probably would, they would say that society was built by men for men, so women were always destined to fail, because society should have been built by women, while men basically did the building and women did the guiding. So in other words, women instructed the men, women had the power, and the men were just basically the worker ants that kept their mouths shut. This is the ideology. This is the ideology. In fact, they'll go as far as saying that from the very beginning with Adam and Eve, it should have been Eve that was made the essentially the man. So essentially the dominant, and it should have been Eve that was given guidance by God to lead, while Adam would be the helper and keep his mouth shut and allow the woman to do what she had to do, even though Adam would be the one who would still have to take accountability for anything that went wrong. Like, guys, this is absolutely insane. And in fact, even going even further than that, there would be a lot of women who would then turn around and say that, you know, it was always destined to fail even before Eve, because God is the father, right? Which means that there was, you know, everything was made from a man's image. Earth was constructed from a man's image. The universe was constructed from a man's image. You know, so, you know, they were destined to fail from the very beginning of creation. Before even creation, women were destined to fail, because they were created by this tyrannical entity that, you know, that did not wish the best of them, and that created them to be subservient to the man, which is ridiculous, because if they had been created by a woman, that a woman would understand what is needed and they would be more just. These women will call God unjust because we say God the Father and not God the Mother. This is the crazy reality that we currently live in, and that women will never take accountability for anything. You know, they don't like men. They will turn on God. They would hashtag Me Too Jesus if they could. You know, I've already said this, that if Jesus came to earth right now, the Christians would start plotting, like saying that we need to send this guy back to heaven because he's messing up the money. He's messing up the money, because Jesus would not be in alignment with the lunatic Christians. He'd come to earth and he would basically say, yeah, so you can't lose your salvation no matter what you've done. No matter what someone does here on earth, they cannot lose their salvation. And the Christians would put up a fight with Jesus. They would deny him, tell him he's not Jesus. He needs to take his butt back to heaven, hell, or wherever the heck he came from. But he can't. But he better not come around here anymore. Guys, the Catholics, they would say, but look at this man thinking that he's gonna come down here and mess up the money. And here's the crazy thing: if Jesus stepped up and said, "Okay, I'm gonna show you who's God," and he started using his abilities, and like he just started snapping people out of existence, then they would start calling him unjust and all kinds of guys. These people human beings are terrible. Human beings are terrible. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Women are furious that men won't protect them anymore. Guys, what do you think about everything we discussed here today in this video? I want to know your thoughts. Let's talk about them in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.